Kia ora and welcome to another episode of Reset TV Talk. This is your host Asif Ahmed and we are live from Auckland, New Zealand. We have our guest here, Faisal Fargri and Abann. Welcome everyone and welcome to the show. This is the first show of the new year and I hope you guys enjoying the sunshine, the weather and and you guys come back from the holidays. And like some of us, we don't like to get back into the work too soon. But that's nice.
The stress.
Yes, and I want to start the show with the recap of the last month's show that we have, which was in 2022. So I would like to ask our guest Abann to just reflect on what we've done on the last month's show. Over to you, Abann.
Thank you, Asif, for lovely introduction. Welcome everybody. New year, new thought, new things, and we hope everyone entered the new year with a fresh restart. New year was a good thought. 2023. What is the wonderful start was the Reset TV Talk to reflect from last year, rather to say last month.
Last year.
It's last year.
Last year.
It's not all last year, it's December last year.
Yes.
We reflect on the previous talk, which was immigration, but the most important, we reflect on ARCC end of the year. Yeah. And we talk about success, we talk about the challenges, and we give example to one another what was the successful for us. And it was a good recap of reflection of the end of the year. And although I was trying to summarize my highlight of the year about the community resilient, but also there was also the success of our two magazine we had launched. New Resident Magazine first volume in June 2022 when we have World Refugees Day, and also we launched the second one when we had our summer block party on the 17th of December, which is the second volume of our New Resident Magazine. So last our show was really I thought to miss our core host point.
Yes.
Yeah, and the rest of the team because they wasn't there, and also people is still in the mood of holiday.
Yes.
I think now last time people want to go for holiday, and now people to return to work is going to be like running in.
It's like a fight.
It's slowly. Yeah, so I think it's opportunity as well to welcome everyone to the normal, come back to work and see how we're going to progress for the new year. So back to you, Asif.
Oh, thank you, Abann. Thank you for the loving and welcoming our audience. So I want to hear something from Faisal, how your New Year's been gone and what you guys done on the New Year.
Yeah, the New Year is very nice and very good. And we don't plan to go overseas this year like last year. The good things, we spend the time with my family and my friends here. And we have, I think, 2 wedding celebration in the community, and it's gonna be it's went good and very nice. But now we're fighting back to get back to work and see the community things.
But I think as we are working in the community, we don't have holidays because I assume your phone will be always ringing.
I receive calls during this holiday from some community members about some issues, but I say to them that there is a holidays.
Yes.
I respond the phone. Of course, no, I'm not responding the phone, but the government
Government is
holidays.
on
It's,
holiday.
yeah, we cannot go to the working income housing. We cannot call them. We're gonna say, but we respond all those things to the new year. That's why I'm saying it's gonna be heavy, and it's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
we love the interaction with our community, and we love how people are engaging on our Facebook page, YouTube channel, TikTok, and Instagram, and asking question. And one question, Abann, we received is about the last time we talked about someone who's been here for 21 years, and still he hasn't been able to resettle and access those services. So the question is that. Did the New Zealand government failed him? This is the question.
Oh, this is a good question.
This is a political question, but I always try not to be a politician, but being a practitioner in the community where I think there is a two sides of the story.
Yeah.
I don't think government failed him. It might be he failed himself.
Okay.
In terms of being able to get out and ask for help, because one of the challenges our community are facing is that majority of our community, they've been held hostage because of what happened to them in the past, and they're still living in the past.
Yes.
Okay,
That's the
and I know there are some of the services are promoting that people to for them to remain in the past and they live in the present.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because some of the services, they are not telling them the truth. In order for them to live the truth or to live the reality, they're not telling them.
Yeah.
So making them to live in the past, and the business is going to be normal and ongoing business.
Yes.
So you stay in the back, in the past,
And
and
we
we
do
are in
deal
the
with you.
present here.
Yeah.
And we deal with you.
So for that kind of the person, I think it need a services like ARCC who have the grassroots knowledge,
Yeah.
who have the live experience, so that we can be able to process, because it's not just only a problem and then we find someone to blame about it.
Yeah.
For me, I don't work that way. So I don't, in this stage, I don't blame the government, because we don't really went through the in-depth understanding about how the cases become 21 years without getting help. Because if you isolate yourself, for example, I've been challenging many of our community by telling them the reality. It's sometimes people might say you might be tough, or you might be tough love,
Aggressive.
or aggressive to them, but no,
No.
that's the reality. You
Yeah.
need to tell them.
Always the truth is
You know?
very painful.
Because what is happening is that it's easy for us to point your fingers on our government, but the reality, no. The problem is us. So what we need to do is that for that kind of the people, they need to be referred to the right services in order for them to get the support they're looking for.
Okay, so if we take the solution, the answer that you said, into two parts. So one thing I would see is that isolation
Yes.
is a big issue.
Yeah.
Installation.
And the second is that right service provider.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how can we, as a ARCC, can we make changes to our community by awareing them how they can get out of isolation? And the second is that how can they access the basic services that there is?
Okay, the solution in our new resident magazine.
Okay.
The stories we provide in those magazines, those is storytelling the your arrival where they can access the services. Because the story of those people who are there, they've been through resettlement process.
Right.
They've been through settlement process. They've been through integration process. So their stories is the answers for those problems. That's why we create that magazine for us to tell our own story,
Right.
whether we are successful in the way how we become successful and the challenge we've been through.
Yeah.
So if they focus on that, that will be one of the solutions they will be able to get. Second one is that for ARCC to be in touch with those new arrivals when they arrive in Mangri,
Right.
in order for them to be able, when they start, when they know anyone there, they should be able to call us. And there are similar organizations in other regions as well. They should be able to get out and call those people. And believe me or not, with those stories as well, there is an area of which everyone in the end of the story they're saying, if you need help, if you need anyone, just please contact those people. And those, it's a promoting not to be in isolation and also not to be living in the past.
Right.
Okay? So those are kind of the solution. And the most practical element of the solution is that is the agencies need to work together.
Yeah, that's
They need to work together so that to have better understanding who doing what and who doing what. When something happen,
you can.
it's not because this is one of the things that always we say. We become aware on the things after when happen.
Yes.
But that is not should be the case.
Yeah.
We should be aware from the starting so that we prevent all those damage not to happen.
Yeah.
But sadly, we find when people are already depressed, when they're having already mental issue, and no one there for them.
Yeah.
And we end up by starting having emotional support, physical
The
support, mental support, mental well-being
Financial
support, financial support, all those support. So what we really looking for to improve those kind of challenge in the community is that rather for me to blame the system, I always blame my community because if I point in the government this, those are coming back.
Yes.
So we need to be mindful. We need to be mindful on that, you know?
Yeah, another, I want to say something about the service or the how to navigate the service. You know, the service like a Lido things, it's here, all the services there. And for my experience in working in ARCC, is close with Abann, and we go into some cases and we see this we can fix it with this one. We take this one, put it down, and now we can help with this one. And you found all the services there, but how we can navigate through all those things.
Channels, yes.
Yeah, for ARCC, with experience, we try and to navigate it. But for the community, we come to you with the shock. Oh, I'm shocked. I cannot do what's it. And they come down. You can get this one from here, put it here. You can fix your problem. So, just for me to the community members, focus a little bit. Yeah, we are here for help, but just focus a little bit. We can fix this problem. So don't point, as Abann say, the finger. We come back to you.
There is a solution also was in the article me and Sandy wrote in our second volume. It's talking about practical tools that can help a person to overcome their problem. Okay? So when I put my advocacy head as a community advocacy and educator, I have two tools I use. Okay? So what helped me to reach to that point there? When I become automotive engineering, when I studied, I come to realization that being an engineer, you know everything in the engine, the engine.
Yeah, the engine.
But without the tool that you put all those stuff, your knowledge is useless.
Useless. Yes.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same thing when I done the community development and social practice study as well. I find out the problem we had, we are the solution for it because no one know what we are going through, just ourselves.
Yes.
But the problem because we did not allow ourselves to ask ourselves questions.
Yeah, that's
Okay? Because we always easy for us to go and challenge other people.
Yeah.
But the realization of self-challenge is that it starts from yourself. Ask yourself a question. Who am I? What I'm doing here?
Yeah.
What is really my purpose in life?
How I
When
can
you
solve
start
the problem.
answering those questions, you will be able to reach to the level where even you can develop your own tool to solve the problem.
Yeah.
For example, we're using the wood help.
Yeah.
I broke the wood help to pieces. Each letter of the wood help, it means something. For example, H, honesty. I need to be honest with myself. If I use that wood help, I need to start from there.
Yeah.
H, I need to use honest.
Honesty.
I need to be honest. Okay? E, empathy.
Empathy. Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So those are kind of the tools aligned within the resettlement if you want to help someone.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are kind of the thing you break it down. And also if you come to the word support in advocacy, because advocacy is another word of support.
Yeah.
Support is about safety. The most important you need to do in New Zealand here, safety comes first.
Yes.
But the word support, the letter S, it starts with safety.
Safety. Yes.
Okay? How do you make yourself safe? How do you make the person you are helping safe?
Safe. Yeah.
Use that tools, use that element. Okay? The opportunity. Always don't put barrier to yourself. Okay?
There's
The opportunity is there, but many people they don't see it. Many people, they don't see it.
Yes.
So those are kind of the tools our community, they're going to be able to help. Because without helping themselves, it's hard for outsider to come and help them.
Thank you, Abann. This was a very knowledgeable answer. And we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Reset TV Talk. This is your host Firaj Budbadi, and we have in our studio Faisal and Abann. Before we going to the short break, we've been talking about not just pointing finger, also providing a solution to yourself. And this is also a part of a series we've been doing on community issues. And this time we would like to talk about employment. So, Abann, my question for you is that what are the challenges the community is facing when they are looking for employment?
I think I can reverse your question. What are the opportunity for employment our community should be able to get, not a challenge. I think to reflect on that, it's obvious the first challenge we face as a new arrival to New Zealand, a new resident from forced migrant background, we face language difficulties because it really is not easy to go to employment workforce without having a proper English, because we're talking about New Zealand system.
Yeah.
The second thing I can say is that networking, where you will be able to have a network that will enable you to find a job. Also, the obvious question from the system point of view is about New Zealand qualifications, New Zealand work experience, and then after many years we get to know that it's not about all those things, it's about who you know.
Yeah.
So that's not about what you know.
Not about what you know, yes.
Who you know,
yeah.
it will trust you and give you opportunity of job. So those are kind and in general, but honestly speaking is that every individual have a different circumstances when it comes to employment opportunity, because when we come where we come from, I can start by saying that I've been trying to contribute to provide some of the solution of that, because I've been through the systems with 8 years without a proper job, which I'm looking for. But for me, when I look at it, it's not because I want to blame anyone, but it was a process. So when I had done benchmarking research, I have done through the support of Winston Churchill Fellowship, having a benchmarking between New Zealand and Australia, benchmarking when it comes to employment and housing. What I discovered that the majority of employers of New Zealand, they don't understand our community background.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is not their fault. Secondly, the system itself is not. We don't have a proper mechanism to prepare our community so that they can be invested on earlier than later. Because the UNHCR was saying, if you want to resettle refugees in your own country, there are refugees offshore, bring them to your country to become your resident, invest on them earlier, because the return is greater. What does that mean? For example, when people arrive in Mangere systems is a little bit challenged, but also it's a unique system compared to other countries. It's unique when people has been categorized in 3 levels of the need. There is a short term, medium term, and long term. So the short term, those are people who've been in urban society, who've been working in city before they arrive in New Zealand. They're having qualification background and they've been doing business. and they have qualification.
Yeah, this I understand.
Yeah, the medium term is those people are still struggling, just they need a little bit of adjustment so that they can go to the workforce.
Yeah.
The long term is those people who've been in refugees camp for many years waiting
Yeah.
for resettlement. So those people, it's not easy for them to be recovered easily because they're having a lot of things to go through in order for them to be job ready, you know? So that is really something New Zealand resettlement system need to work on because the people short term I talk about, those people that have PhD holders and the country of origin they come from is not recognized by New Zealand.
Okay.
So what solution can be provided for them is re-skilling them, upgrading their skills so that they can still continue with their pathway which they start on overseas rather than distracting them. They end up driving taxis, they end up doing cleaning, they end up doing the job that is not suit them. But if we have a proper system that it will give them the pathway to what they're looking for, it will be a greater. Also, another opportunity as well for employment, you can start volunteer work because this is the open gate for you.
Yeah.
So you will be able to have establish New Zealand work experience. Also, you can establish the networking as well. So those are kind of avenue of overcoming the employment challenge in our community. And majority of our community as well, many of them, they're business owner. The only thing they're looking for is just opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, so if there is opportunity, I think many of our community, they're going to be able not just only to work, but to create a business that will benefit other New Zealanders to be employed in that business as well.
Oh, that's a very knowledgeable answer. And with just summarizing is that there are three categories of people who are in low category, they need more support, and they work on medium is that just a little bit of tweaking, and then the high, they will able to work themselves. That's good. Faisal, coming back to you, because you are in the community always, and day to day, what kind of difficulties these people are facing, especially the community is facing for employment?
Yeah, for the first things, the language, the language barrier, and most of the community members, when they apply for a job, they come back with high qualifications.
They need high qualification.
Yeah, they need high qualification. As Abann said, the categories is different, and at the end, we see that some taxi drivers is doctors, and they are not recognized why they are. And I think it's very easy to put them back to the system. Is with talking to them. I will put him in some training somewhere, and don't say to them you are overqualified.
Okay.
Well, I don't understand what's the meaning of overqualified. Overqualified, you can qualify him. You can
Well, there is a good news for you.
Yeah.
Okay, one of our community member, he come here, the same things. You don't have New Zealand work experience, you don't have New Zealand qualification. He went to the system. He reached a master's degree. He don't have a job now. Okay?
He has
And
a
then
master's degree in
He
New
have a
Zealand.
master's degree in New Zealand.
New Zealand,
In New
okay.
Zealand.
In New Zealand.
Yeah. And then PhD in New Zealand.
Okay.
Now, to find a job, he's overqualified.
Overqualified.
Okay.
You see?
Okay?
I'm
The system
astonished.
is this. The system is this because my advice to him is that sometimes we think the other people are a problem, but we are a problem for ourselves.
Yes.
Okay? I told him that it's important within the New Zealand context to have the appropriate advice. Education is a different field.
Yeah.
Okay?
It comes in different.
Yeah, it's a different field of just going there and getting the knowledge. Okay, and he asked me a question, Abann, how do you done your master and you're doing this? And I said, no. My pathway, it was not just only study. My pathway was just work, and work allowed me to give me opportunity of study. I study while I'm working.
Yes.
So what I have done is that I have informal education and non-formal education. For me to make it work, then advance those two to have a formal education so that I will make sure that my knowledge is flow as how it works.
Yes.
And
But if I don't work it myself, no one is going to work it for me.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, how to work it. This one is so difficult for the community member to understand that how you can, the way you do it is very difficult for them, or they don't understand it, and they end up where they are not.
But for us, Faisal, for our communities, the title of communication is very important. But what they're missing out,
Who knew? Who you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Who you
What
know?
they're missing out, those titles in the real world, they mean nothing.
Nothing.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you have a qualification and it's not being seen in the way you do things and the way you behave, that is a paper.
Yeah.
I think there are underlying issues with the community, and also there are underlying issues with the system as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
Like an example that I would like to share is that there was a civil engineer who's been working in overseas countries like Saudi,
Yeah.
country like UAE, but when he comes here, the experience and the skill qualification was not recognized.
Doctors,
And-
the
yeah,
same thing.
yeah,
Doctors.
and he was I was working with him in the pathways to employment with Red Cross, and there was an opportunity came. There was a trial for 17 days. He was about to quit, and the last minute an opportunity came. He said that okay, now I'm going to drive taxi because I can't live without the money. And the opportunity was he needs to work on the roads for 17 days. If they find him skillful, they're gonna hire him for the job. He went there, done the trial, and he got the job. So now what we can learn is that the skills are there, the jobs are there. We just need to educate them, and that's where my next question is gonna come to you guys. Is that when, as Abann said earlier, there is not much awareness of from the employers about forced migrants. And also another question from that is that there's a difference between forced migrant and a migrant, because migrants coming here by choice, but the forced migrant we don't have a choice because we have to go through two traumas. One trauma, our country which we left
it.
of whatever the reason. Second trauma, the refugee country that where we've done our asylum. And
The third one as well here in
in New Zealand, yes. So my question is that how a forced migrant is a different of finding a job. And the second question is that in that meantime, when he's finding or he is recovering from his past trauma, how can he overcome his past trauma, heal from it, and move into the society and find a better employment for himself?
Yeah.
The first thing to be done is that when we look into people, the first thing comes in my mind is that when I look at you just a human. You are Asif, original from Pakistan. Whatever associated with your journey is something happened in the past.
Yeah.
But now I should look at you in a way that how I will respect you, how I will see you as someone part of the society.
Yeah.
But the problem already we have, this is what I call it, is structure barriers. The structure barriers has been put by the systems labeling. Okay?
Labeling, yeah.
Yes.
Labeling, yeah.
Okay? That label is make the employers fear, because what the employer looking for someone who can add value to his business.
Yeah.
Need a person who can add the profit for his business. It doesn't matter where you come from.
Yeah.
You know, because I experienced that when I was working with Ryan long time ago, helping young people to go to employment pathway. So what employers they're looking for? They're looking for someone who understands their business, who can add value to their business. So the employees, they need awareness, and when people are coming here, not with the label which is the immigration New Zealand has been putting them,
Yeah.
and also the other institutions which is part of it, the NGOs who are working in resettlement, who are implementing the policy of the government about the labeling of the people. So those are the factors. The factors are really making the employers that fears. But what is important is that you just give an example, given the trial. We used that a long time ago. We talk with the employer about the young person, what young person can bring to them. We talk to the young person about what is that business about.
Yeah.
So we bring those together, and then young person need to be given 2 weeks or 3 weeks to see if he's capable to do that job or not.
Yeah.
But the majority, which is 89% of those young people, they end up getting a permanent job with those employers.
That's very
Okay?
good.
So those are kind of a positive example. But what we need to do, we need to take ownership of ourselves. You know, we need to take ownership on ourselves. When there is something is not working in your favor, always don't judge or don't reach to a negative conclusion by saying, "Oh, this is someone's fault." No, if that guy he did not be patient, he did not take the risk to go and have a trial, he will not get the job he was looking for.
Yeah.
It's the same things happen to anyone. For example, for me, I waited almost for many years, but really I regret it? No. I need to use that my experience of being in a negative area to the positive one, because you are the only person
You take into
will make your life different, not someone else.
Yes.
So this is very important.
And coming to the second part, how people can heal from the trauma that they faced in their country, and because when, let's say that if I just come to New Zealand and I started a new job, right? But the trauma and is still with me. It's affecting my work life. It's affecting my home life. It's affecting all over me, and I would not be a productive person. So how people can recover from that?
Just being aware of your own trauma, because it's important.
Yeah.
So the more you are aware of your
Be
problem,
yourself.
the more you are aware of your problem, then you need to start something called self-reconciliation. Okay? When you have self-reconciliation, you will be able to observe what's happening in the past, and then you ask yourself a question, and then you will be able to start bringing sort of the solution to yourself, either by yourself or someone else can add that to you. But if you're not in a realization of recovering from inside, because you need to start from inside, bring from the inside, not from our side, from inside to out. So if you start self-reconciliation, an element of self-reconciliation, then you need to reach to the point of self-forgiveness.
Okay.
Some people say, "Oh, I want to forgive other people." No. If you don't forgive yourself
yourself.
first from what happened in the past, you're not able to forgive anyone else.
How you
So
can
those
forgive?
are the process.
So the takeout from that is self-forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Thank you, Faisal and Abann, for a very deep answer. We're gonna go on a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Reset TV Talk. This is your host Asif Rajput Bhatti. We have our guests here, Faisal Fargali and Abann Jur. We've been discussing about employment, and we're gonna move ahead with more depth knowledge of employment about forced migrants who issues here. The next question I have is that when you are resettling in a new country, what are the preparation you need to do to get into employment? What the preparation people are looking for?
You can start.
Yeah, this is the preparation for the normal,
To getting
your
into the work.
CV
Yep.
or the sort of normal thing. But at the end, in New Zealand, because it's a very small country, not big country like America, and it's about who you know.
Not what you know.
you know.
Okay.
I don't
So
know
this
what
means is
for
that
America,
networking.
But this is going to be not good for the person who's coming, because he have knowledge, and I think we need this knowledge to transfer to New Zealand system or to New Zealand environment. I think everyone who's coming from overseas, he have some knowledge when he's
Let's take it the high priority one that we were talking about.
Yeah.
The PhD honors, masters, doctors.
doctors.
And
Let's go with the doctors, the medical doctors. I have two families have doctors coming from overseas. Doctors,
yeah,
they study for 6 years.
in New Zealand or
No.
overseas.
It's overseas, and they come here, and they are facing with some problem about you must sit for exam. For the exams cost around 3,000 or 4,000 each one, and he is like a forced, like not a forced migrant coming with his money. He's a forced migrant. He's coming with with Migrate Center. How he can afford 3,000 or 4,000 to go to the exam, and after that and we try myself and some other friends to search for like support for him, and we don't found any support. And he is perfect. He said that why don't you take me to the hospital and give me a chance and focus on me, and like let's send me to the office to this hospital.
I think
Let me
this
see
this
how
is
I-
this is a very good question. Last year, there was a headline that a doctor has been serving in the hospital for like past 2-3 months, and after 3 months, they get to realize that his documents was forged,
What's for?
fake document. Now the question is that if he's been working for for past 3 months, this means he was qualified.
Yes.
And the second thing is that he forged his document, which is wrong. I do not support that. But the question is that why we need to, if we need to solve the problems in our community, in our society, we need to go to the root of the cause.
Yeah.
What made him do the forgery of those documents? If he's been working with those professionals for 3 months, how anyone, like if
How
I go and
how you let him?
Yes.
And there is other doctors coming from overseas
Yes.
as the forced migrants and left them go working as a taxi drivers.
Yeah.
And now you don't test them, just test them.
yeah,
Take them to the
so
hospital.
there should be an easy pathway to integrate with the
Yes, easy,
system.
because in New Zealand we are running out of doctors. We're running. If you go to the hospital today,
Long queue.
anyone in the communities, you say, no, I'm not going to the doctor. I'll go to the GB. Maybe I rather wait for 15 minutes or 1 hour.
Yeah.
Rather than go to the hospital, wait for
all day.
the whole day. It's sometimes until the second day. You're waiting just for the doctor to come and test you.
Okay.
Where are the doctors? Why are the
Or,
nurses?
I think I can jump here. You guys are talking with really sensitive topic of employment opportunity when it comes to professionalism.
yes.
From my own personal point of view, is that is a part of what I said before is structure barriers.
Yes.
Within the system, there is a discrimination, but you can't see it.
Yes.
Okay, but it's
Unconscious
there.
bias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least the conscious bias and discrimination is something that did not start yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it's come a long way. Okay, so what we need to acknowledge is that, as I said before, the approach to fit to the system is important to find a way where you would be able to fit to that system because it's not designed for you. Okay, it has been designed to specific privileged people in the society. That's their job. Okay, it's that is the true confronting issue. Okay, the only way to be able to get kind of a professional when you are demonstrating yourself you are capable of. Okay, like what Asif was saying before, there are some people who come here with a qualification not being recognized by the New Zealand system. There is a solution for it, not because they don't know, they know how to solve that problem.
Yeah.
But has been instructed to be in that way. Okay, has been
the
instructed.
system.
Yeah, it's been instructed on that way, because nothing whatever it will not really become an obstacle for a country to design a pathway or people who are not qualified directly to become doctors within a New Zealand context. There should be a way how they can come there, but actually no way there.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean? It's another trauma has been created by the system to those people. Because I know some of our community members who come through humanitarian visa to New Zealand, because everyone come under the humanitarian visa, whether come under refugees quota program or family unification or come as asylum. Those are people who've been forced in their country by force. They never really choose to be in New Zealand, but they force and they find themselves in New Zealand here, and they're seeking more opportunity or the second opportunity in their life so that they can make progress in this society or can add value to this society. So if there is an opportunity, they're going to be able to do. There is other resettlement countries around the world. They practice, it might be different in New Zealand, but anyone, because if you want to have a PhD, in a real life, there are medical PhD, there are medical doctors, but there are also doctors who have a follow service degrees.
Yeah.
Degrees, yeah.
Yeah, so we call them doctors as well.
Yeah.
So overseas, for them to reach to that qualification, a lot of years they spend, a lot of resources been spent there. But when they come here and they've been denied with no opportunity, that itself like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So now we are not going to focus on the past because what happened in the past is give us opportunity to learn through it. But if we need to start now moving forward, part of Reset TV talk, I think for our audience who are hearing us, it's important to start having a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, because if we have a conversation with people who are having a relevant to what employment opportunity we're talking about here, and share the insight of what we know, and they also share their knowledge, I think we might reach to a conclusion of having a solution for it.
I think we've been talking really nice about the solution and providing how to get it. But for the audience interest, I want you to share an example. I remember one time you were talking about one person who was on work and income benefit, and whenever letter comes, he get anxiety.
Yes, yes.
And then you were able to find him employment. Can you share that story to our audience?
I think it's, like I said, those kind of cases, they reach to ARCC last minute when the damage already done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay? The person, he don't know English, first of all.
Okay, that's the
Okay.
big issue. Yeah.
And his English is not enough to read the letters.
Yeah.
So what happened, he have other underlying problem with his own life. And he went through a lot of things.
Yeah.
So what's happened to him when he find a letter from housing, because he's staying in housing in New Zealand,
Yeah.
or find a letter from work and income, he start checking.
Okay.
Yeah, he start checking.
Right.
So is someone who really people can benefit from because he got a skill in his hand.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a mechanic. He fix cars.
Yeah, that's
Okay, he fix cars. But what he tried to do is that he want to go and work in a workshop where those people having a system of language where he can be able to add value to New Zealand or to himself, and he don't want to be in benefit.
Yeah.
So what happened? Someone told him to come to ARCC, and when he come and I talked to him, I said, "Okay, I can help you." Oh, yeah, I can go to you with working income, and I went to working income, and good things. I find a senior manager as well there, understood the case because, as you know, our approach as an ARCC when it comes to advocacy, we always hear two-sided stories.
yeah.
And then when we hear from work and income and from our community, we find out as well, he got responsibility to do.
Yeah.
So the good news is the work and income give him opportunity because you know when you get a job 20 hours, your work and income money going to be cut,
Yes.
and the house will
And
be
get
up.
Yes.
That is
It's miserable.
really
Most of the community members
yes,
don't like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that way through
That
that.
policy is not helping our community. You know,
Yeah.
that policy is not helping us at
Yeah.
all. So what we always suggest is that if someone find a job, a part-time job, the system should allow him a little bit of 6 months or 1 year.
Yes.
They're not going to be rich anyway.
Yeah.
Those are people who are coming to rebuild their life here.
Yeah.
If they've been given opportunity of promoting them so that they can keep their job, that
Yeah.
will be fine. But if the housing has been, the rent has been
The second week.
become higher,
Right.
and also the benefit is cut,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of things happen. So they drop everything and this is stay home.
Yes.
So what
I
happened?
know that 90% of the people don't want to go to
Yes.
work. It's the same
So
problem.
what happened? The guy is, I took him and he got a job with Parkinson. It's a good thing.
Okay, back and say.
Yeah, the Parkinson give him opportunity. He's working the trailer and with all this stuff. The first week, the second week, then he start getting money. And when he see the money in his account, compared with the working income, it's not worth it.
Yes.
And I said, leave working income. He don't want to leave working income.
Okay.
And I said, please, where you come from, always men work. We're not expecting any money from anyone.
Yeah.
Always we work.
Yes.
If you have more work there, just carry on. I talked with a manager on work and income. They increase his hours. 2 months
In the park and safe.
in a Parkinson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now work and income not anymore.
Huh.
That with 2 months, he developed habit of if working income is not sending me any letter, I don't need working income anymore.
I don't want working income.
And then when we went to working income, you know, when you get a job with working income,
Yes.
they celebrate you and
Yes.
they give
Assist
you
you with some money.
clothes and all
Yes,
that
yes,
stuff. Man, it said, if I knew this from when I come, I should not be
not
in
to
the
stay
working
at
income
home.
system, because now if they see a letter, because the problem is he think negative when he see the letter.
Yes.
It's not just only working income, even inland revenue.
Yeah.
Yes,
When he see any government department letter,
he's confused.
it already is done. It's
Yes.
so now after that, letter is stopped, nothing happened, said New Zealand is good.
See, it's a very simple. It's a very simple ideas coming out from Abann and ARCC. Just do to those people like this.
Yeah, I think these government agencies like work and income, they really need to come down to the grassroots and see there is not just one child of who doesn't
Yes.
fit all.
Yeah.
Like our community needs
Yeah.
different solutions.
Yes.
But there is something you guys don't know. Work and income for online managers, they are just enforcing the policy has been given for them to be forced on anyone who come access any services.
Yeah.
But the problem, the people who make the policy.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. Behind that.
Yes, behind the scene. My approach always when I go to work and income, anyone frontline managers, I met with them. I know them. They are also caught in the middle.
Yeah.
But the help I give is that let us use our common sense. We are human. Okay. So it's important how to help someone in a way that our services has been cut out to support those people. But if we make anyone to leave our office upset, to leave our office is just it's not happy. That's not a service.
Okay, just coming to the end of the segment, just quickly, I need some answer. Just that, what are the different services providers out there who can support new residents? Like if they want to start their own business, that's the one. If they want to find a job, is there any agencies that they can help them to find a job? And number 3 is that if they want to continue their education.
Okay, I think what they need to remind themselves after when they leave resettlement center to settlement location is just there are services has been designed, not just designed, but being contracted to support those people settlement journey. So there is Red Cross across the country, might be except Auckland because Kahui.
Kahota.
But I think Pathways to Employment is still working.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if the Red Cross is still doing pathway to employment, that's the area they will look at it. And also they can access ARCC as well, where we can refer them to those agencies. There are also mainstream services. The most important one is work and income. Work and income have a department that look at job active, because in work and income there is a job search benefit. Everyone under that category always immediately you need to apply for a job. So they're having a networking has been established with a different institution, now different corporate, so where people can get either labor job or all those.
Okay, that's for the jobs. What about for businesses?
For the businesses, we had start Retria Collective, which is we had was ARCC and other partners.
Right.
It's just a program of 12 weeks, and if you join ARCC, ARCC start to recruit, and then you will be given to women entrepreneurship to training for 12 weeks. After 12 weeks, there is another program you go through, because our program is like nurturing. When you plant the tree, always you need to look after the tree, put the water, put all those stuff. So this is what is surrounded. Example of finding employment was in Auckland, and other region as well. There is similarity, but what is important is that be in touch with ARCC and be in touch with the work and income, and they're going to be able to.
So the simple answer for that is that if you're facing any of this issue, just come to us and we'll help you. We'll work toward you. We're not the solution. We'll help
Even
you.
if you are the region as well, because ARCC is a national organization. Any region you in, please try to contact us, and we will be able to reach you.
Thank you, Abann, and thank you, Faisal. This has been the employment we've been looking to talk about for a long time. Finally, this topic has happened. The next month we're gonna talk about ARCC projects. So stay tuned for the next month. And I'd like to thank and acknowledge our audience who's coming here, making their time listening to us. So thank you everyone, and we'll see you next month.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.